Hey everyone, COE33 here with another game room tour for you, and today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite collections, which is our Atari 2600 collection. And we're in the downstairs game room. I hope everyone's having a happy holiday. We just put up our fiber optic Christmas tree over here, so Leaf and I definitely enjoy decking out the house for the holidays. We put up the lights outside, so it's looking very National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation out there. We don't quite have 25,000 imported Italian twinkle lights like Chevy Chase did, but we're getting pretty close. We got quite the show out there. And the Neo Geo cab is running. We got Sengoku 3 playing here. And definitely I hope everyone's having a great holiday and enjoying time with friends and family. And so yeah, let's get to it. The Atari 2600. So that was my second console I ever had. My first was an NES, and I loved my NES. It was definitely I got a lot of good use out of that, let's put it that way. And then at some point, my cousin, he was getting rid of his old Atari 2600, and he gave it to me. So he gave me a wood grain 4-switch, I believe it was, and a whole bunch of games and controllers, and just gave them to me. And although the Atari 2600 was a little dated compared to my NES, I still loved it, and especially games like Barnstorming and, oh gosh, River Raid and Pong, Pac-Man, games like that. I got a lot of good use out of, really enjoyed the Atari. And unfortunately, at some point, I think I donated it to a family member, maybe a friend, I can't quite remember, and gave him all the games and my console. So none of this is my original. None of these are my original games from back in the day. Actually, most of this, now not all, but a lot of it, is from one really epic pickup that we got at a Goodwill. So Leaf and I were out and about, we were on the hunt, and I saw a few Atari 2600 games in the case, in the display case. And luckily the manager was there and I talked to him, and I was talking to him about the games as well. Actually, we have a whole bunch of these that came in. Someone dropped off their whole collection, and we just haven't gone through and priced them all and put them out yet. And I said, oh, well, I'm a collector. I'd be interested in buying them all if we can work out a deal. So we went back and forth on the price a little bit, and then I ended up paying, I believe it was like $125. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll link to that on the Hunt episode in the description below if you guys want to check it out. I can't quite remember how much I paid at the time, but it wasn't very much. And it's a heck of a deal because there's some good stuff in here. There's some uncommon, some rare games. There's some pretty cool accessories. And so we basically got a whole Atari 2600 collection in one day. And then we've added to it since then. So that's kind of nice. We got some good items in here. So why don't we get right to it and start sharing the collection? I guess we can start right over here on the left here. So we got some of these kind of interesting shaped games. They have these little handles on them, so it's a little easier to put in and out of the system. And I put all those together. So we've got Dragonfire, Atlantis, Trickshot, Moonsweeper, Star Voyager. We got Cosmic Arc, Firefighter, excuse me, and Shooting Gallery. The next to that we have Riddle of the Sphinx. And then moving here is one of our more recent Atari 2600 pickups, which is Frankenstein's Monster. And this is kind of an uncommon game. I don't know if it would be uncommon or rare. I'm not sure what the classification of it is, but it's definitely a more collectible game. And I was kind of eyeing this for a while, and we saw it at a game store when we were out and about on the hunt. So jumped at picking that up, and really stoked to have that in the collection. It's actually a pretty cool game. It's kind of a trip. And let's see, how did I have that? It's kind of hard to juggle these things. There we go. Don't want them falling over. And then moving here, we have an Atari 2600 Junior. And then we have a really cool accessory, the supercharger, and this plugs into like a cassette player. So that's kind of a collectible little item. And it's very cool to have in the collection. This was in that big lot that we got at Goodwill. And then behind that, we got a couple 5200 games. We got Super Breakout and Galaxian. Over here, we have Sorcerer's Apprentice. We have Ghostbusters. We have a complete in box Journey Escape and a complete in box Star Raiders with a little controller in there. And here's a very cool item that Leaf and I picked up at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. And this is the 10th year that they put that on. Their theme was Back to the Future. And they had a limited number of these Portland Retro Gaming Expo Atari 2600 carts. And definitely jumped at grabbing that and really happy to have it. And it's a cool game. You got to race to the expo and you got to pick up the video games. And it's 2 players. And yeah, just a really cool item to have in our collection. Actually, let me set this here so we can see behind it. And then we have a whole bunch of games. So I'm just going to go through and pick out some of the more notable ones. We got Pitfall 2. We got Mario Brothers, which is awesome to have. Spy Hunter, very cool. It's a uncommon game for the Atari 2600, so stoked to have that. And then a couple of my favorites right here. River Raid, that's an amazing game. That's really fun. Barnstorming is a lot of fun too. And Coconuts, Crystal Castles, Towering Inferno, Warlords, that's a great game as well. Dig Dug, Super Breakout, and let's see, Laser Blast, Berserk, Galaxian, those are always fun, Galaga and Galaxian. And Sword Quest, Earthworld, and I believe we have Fire World too. There's one that's really rare. I don't know if it's Water World or Fire World, but there's 3 of those Sword Quest games, and I have 2 of them. And I definitely would like to get, we don't have the rare one, which would be nice to track down at some point. We got Space War, Maze Craze, Space Shuttle, Target Fun. Nice little item here, which is a complete in box wall ball. And I think that was sold through Sears, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Oh yeah, this is right there. For use of Atari and Sears Video Computer Systems. Oh, I see. Okay, so maybe it wasn't sold through Sears. But that's kind of unusual to find that complete in box. I haven't really seen that. It's usually loose when I do come across it. Buck Rogers, Popeye, Tunnel Runner, Mountain King, Video Chess. We got some of these kind of odd-shaped games here. They have definitely a unique shape to them. And we have Dark Cavern, Frogs and Flies, The Kool-Aid Man, and Soccer, Armor Ambush, Football, and another football game. And then we got the kind of Coleco Atari games up here. So we've got Mr. Do, Time Pilot, Donkey Kong Jr., Smurfs, Carnival, Mousetrap, Zaxxon, Donkey Kong, and lots of great stuff. Now, somewhere in here is one of my favorite games. Oh, here's Fire World. So I was just talking about this. So I guess it's Water World. That's the rare one. So we have Fire World and Earth World. So Water World's the one that we're missing. And I'm trying to find one of my favorite games is, let's see, and for some reason I'm having a brain, oh, Yar's Revenge, that's it. I really enjoy this game. Yar's Revenge is awesome. And I need to move that so it's more easily accessible. We got some good stuff here. Centipede, Solaris, Miss Pac-Man. I don't really enjoy Pac-Man on the Atari 2600 for whatever reason. I like the arcade ROM quite a bit better. E.T., of course. It'd be great to pick up one of those E.T. games that were left in the dump. You can get those on eBay still, but they're pretty spendy. And Joust, Defender, Kaboom, all kinds of great stuff. And then, let's see, over here we have my Atari console that's hooked up to the CRT television right here. And we have a wood grain 4-switch. And then I've got a few games down here. And a few of my favorite games. Jungle Hunt, love that. That might be my favorite Atari 2600 game, possibly. I've played that quite a bit over the years. And then Pac-Man, Space Invaders, classic, and Moon Patrol, another classic. So Leaf and I actually enjoy playing on the Atari 2600 quite a bit. It's nice to have it hooked up. Makes it a little more convenient to come down here to the game room, fire up a little Atari 2600. Now, we do have one of those plug-and-plays, but I enjoy the real thing quite a bit more. And we have a couple controllers that work really well, and the system fires right up. So it's convenient enough to just grab a game, throw it in, play it on a CRT like it was meant to be played, and just have a little good old-school fun with some Atari. Now, I think eventually I might move this whole collection upstairs, because upstairs is kind of the retro game room. And down here is going to be more of the modern stuff eventually. I'm kind of working towards that goal. Also, it'd be nice to have a little more room for this collection because this kind of cubby that I have here for the Atari 2600 collection is getting really full. And that's our Atari 2600 collection, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. And definitely looking forward to adding more games to this over the years. There's still some on the old wish list that I definitely want to pick up. And yeah, just classic. Can't go wrong with a little Atari 2600. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye.